So to start off, what I'm going to share is a collection of stories, and in those stories, some of them are about myself and some of them about the people I've worked with. But there'll be a common theme, and the common theme hopefully will be clear by the end. There won't be a whole lot of facts and figures, and I won't be talking about psychological constructs or psychological models. But sometimes when I give a talk and I tell my stories about growing up in Galway and feeding chickens and cattle, and sometimes people go away a bit disappointed because they say, I thought he'd be a bit more scientific. I thought there'd be some cutting-edge science there. So I always like to start off with some facts, because it's very important to give facts in the talks to people who are that way inclined, and people who work from the frontal cortex really love facts. So here's the two facts, and I might give some more later on, or I might forget them, but the two is, the number one fact that's highly, highly valuable today is that the average person walks 913 miles a year. The other highly valuable fact is that we drink, on average, 556 glasses of wine per year. So when you work it out, we're all doing an average of 33 miles to the gallon, which isn't too bad. And there's a very good friend of mine who says, people are always saying that here in Ireland we have a drink problem. If people are giving me 33 miles to the gallon, I don't think that's much of a problem. So you can start and you look any question by, okay, what's the problem? And you get caught up in the problem. Or you can start with the solution. For me, I've been lucky to live a life where I get to talk about solutions. And in that course, I've been lucky to work with, as I said, Olympic champions, world champions, Heineken Cup champions. And people might be forgiven for thinking that I'm going to come here and talk about goals and targets and motivation and drive, and I'm going to train people to sleep less, work harder, get up, exercise more, and have this mission of domination and this idea that I'm going to become superhuman. I have no interest in superhumans because I've seen them and they're on television, and some of them are Superman and they're fiction. I'm much more interested in the other word, which is human. And everybody I meet, it doesn't matter what sport they play, and it doesn't matter what role they play in an organization, they're a human being. And sometimes I don't know anything about the sport they play. I don't know anything about the business they operate in. But over the years, I've got to understand a lot about being human. And in my start, when I was thinking about it, when you want to become a psychologist, maybe I do need to go about being superhuman and drive and focus and motivation and more and winning. But there was one thing that really stabilized me all the time and said, no. And it's a simple question. What if, as a psychologist, I could promise you that when you wake up in the morning, your mind would be calm and clear and you would feel happy? What if I could promise you that as you went through your daily work, even with the ups and downs, that all day, every day, you would feel happy? And as you fell asleep at night time, you would feel happy and grateful. Would you take it? Absolutely. Because we can get caught up in needs and trying to understand customer needs, buyers' needs, markets, trends. Let's strip it all right back. We are humans who serve humanity. We are humans who serve other humans. And when you strip it all back, humans want something very simple. They want happiness. And I suppose I was inspired to chase happiness. And let's, instead of trying to create high-performance athletes, let's create human beings that are confident. Let's create human beings that are happy, innovative, creative. Human beings who want to go out and express themselves. Human beings who have no fear and have no doubt. And if you can create that type of human being and then give them a sporting skill set, it becomes a lot easier. So I was always far more interested in happiness than I was in success. Because if you become happy first and foremost, and you become happy in yourself and happy in your environment, you're going to become successful. So what is it that makes us happy? And for years I didn't know. And I suppose I chased happiness so much because when I grew up as a young guy, I didn't have happiness. And despite having a beautiful family around me who cared and minded me, and having enough food every day, inside I just wasn't happy. I didn't know what happiness was. And I looked at people who seemed happy and I envied them. And I craved it, and I didn't know what it was. And then I started to think about, and we talked today about lifestyle moderators. And I started to look at if there's something out there, a silver bullet that's going to make me happy, I'll take it. And after years of looking, I suddenly realized it's absolutely not there. Because happiness is an inside job. You and only you can make you happy. There is nothing in the world that can make you happy. Something can bring you happiness in a fleeting moment. But to be internally happy, internally well, and internally healthy, that's you. And that's you living a lifestyle that breeds happiness. So I used to hear this word lifestyle, and I'm involved with a couple of organizations now, and we're changing the brand, and we help the brand move from an outdated version of who they are into a whole new version of who they are, and they're becoming lifestyle brands. And there's beautiful words. If you look at the life and style, I am living a life, but am I living it with style? And if I am living this life, what style am I living in it in? Am I living it in a style that brings the best of me out more often? Am I living it in a style of freedom and energy and easiness? Or am I living it in a style of anxiety and stress and panic and just having too much on too often? Am I living this life in a style of healthiness and happiness and wellness? Or am I living my life in a state of dis-ease? And when I heard the word disease first, I always thought that disease was something to do with physical disease you get in a hospital. But we need to change our minds completely. Because in Ireland, unfortunately, we don't have a healthcare system. What we have is a sick care system that looks after sick people. It doesn't proactively manage your health. And unfortunately, the only time you'll encounter a health system is when you get sick. But we can define our own wellness system, a real healthcare system that is ours. So we look at what style am I living my life in? What is the style that I bring about? What is the best version of me? When is the time that I was at my best, my most freedom, my most free, my most confident? And how often do I revisit that? Sometimes do I doubt myself? Sometimes I have too much going on in my head. Sometimes do I take on too much? Sometimes I might just seem to be caught in a fog. The other beautiful word is life. And life means lots of things for lots of people. But if you break it down, here's another fact. 3 facts in one talk, I'm flying today. Here's another fact. The average life expectancy in Ireland is 900 months. You sleep 300, you work 300, and you live 300. If you're halfway to being 75, you've about 150 months left. The day you were born with an incredible gift. You were born like no other baby in the world. The day you were born, you knew nothing about fear, you knew nothing about panic, you knew nothing about ego, you knew nothing about unhappiness. You didn't know what unhappy was. You didn't know what fear was. You didn't know what anxiety was. You had no threat of heart attack, heart disease, stroke. There's stuff that we learn. Where in the name of God have we learned those things? Because you're not born with them. The day you were born with this absolutely innate ability to be creative and dynamic and resilient. And the very fact that you learned to walk shows how creative and dynamic and resilient you are. Because you saw what you wanted. You wanted this. You wanted to walk. And you somehow instinctively knew what you needed to do. And you started to move and stand up. But we all seen babies, hands up here, who's babies? Or who's had a baby. And the design flaw is fairly big body, little legs. Or sometimes they seem to have big legs, but there seems to be nothing in them. But the baby falls. And the baby falls and might even get a bang. And we all know what the baby says. The baby says, sure, I tried, it's not going to work. Maybe I'm not good enough. I'm probably not clever enough. I tell you what I'll do, I'll just stay where I am. Is that what baby says? Absolutely not. Baby says, I fell, gee, but I want that, so let's go again. And he gets back up. And it's thinking and adapting all the time. And it's seeing what about me do I need to change? And how can I move? And how can I become better? And suddenly it falls again, bang. And the baby thinks, I've tried it. I've tried it twice now. It's Wednesday, the week is nearly over. I'm just going to go back, watch a few box sets tonight. Forget about it. Maybe I'll start next week. Yeah, forget it. I'll just sit on the floor for the rest of the week. Is that what baby thinks? No, baby thinks, sure. Okay, I'm here, but so what? That's where I want to be. So get back up. Eventually, the baby walks. But that's life. You were born with all of your humanity intact. As you go through life, humanity is not something you get more of. You were born to be absolutely resilient, creative, and dynamic. You've had them since the day you were born. The question is, are you living a life that in a style that brings the best of you out on a daily basis? That creativity, that innovation, that resilience, that self-confidence, that self-expression, are you living it? Or have you somehow stepped back? The day you were born, you were like the guy that just natural guitar player standing in the front of a rock stage, electric picnic, just saying, this is phenomenal. I can't believe people love my music. I can't believe people pay me millions to play the guitar, because for me, it's the easiest thing in the world. And we're all naturally gifted musicians with a gift to live a life of freedom. And when you find someone who's living a life of love, they love what they do in life. They love the people that do it. It's just free. It's easy. And then sometimes, through education or through listening to other people, we doubt our ability to play the guitar and we leave it down. And somebody puts a saxophone in our hands. Now, because I'm a naturally gifted guitarist, I find this thing awkward, clumsy, I'm playing the wrong thing, I'm sounding bad, I start to get self-aware, I start to lose confidence, I start to drift back. And before I know it, I've gone from being that lead guitarist, lighting up the stage, sending beautiful music into the world, to a person that's standing at the back of the stage, angry and frustrated because now I'm playing an instrument that I just don't love and it feels awkward and it feels clumsy and it's just not me. And there's awakening now. There's a collective awakening in society where people are saying, I am not born to stand at the back of the stage. I am not here to play an instrument that doesn't suit me. I am not here to consume something that takes happiness and freedom out of my life. So as beautiful as your saxophone is, it's not me, and I'll leave it down. Let me find this little guitar again. Let me find my way back to that beautiful little guitar. And even if it's a cheap guitar, even if it's not finely tuned, I'm going to play this thing. That's lifestyle choice. And as we build companies and build brands, we have to ask ourselves, have we the product that allows people to live a life? And life is 900 months, it's quite short. Have we a product that allows people to live their life in a style that brings the best of them to the fore more often? If you have, then you're going to be a brand that's going to thrive. If you haven't, expect to be at the stage left behind very quick, because society is moving and there's a collective consciousness that is now around happiness and health. We've lived through a generation of people that have been chewed up and spat out by the Celtic tiger, people who sold their life to work and to long jobs and 15-hour days in big banks, and we were left flat. And this new generation coming up says, you know what, not me. I've seen my parents fall into that trap, I've seen my older brother fall into that trap, I'm not going to fall into that. So show me a brand that's different. Show me a brand that is interested in my little 900 months. And show me a brand that's interested in me living 900 of my months in style. And I'm interested in that. But we live in a world of society where not everybody's a psychologist. Not everybody wants you to be at your best. What a lot of people need is the world of needs. Create needs. And we create a world that's overfed and undernourished. Overfed, undernourished. We feed you loads of stuff. So on a daily basis, from the minute you wake up, you look at your phone. And on your phone, you have all types of apps, you have all types of photos, you have all types of emails, you have Twitter, you have things. And you are being fed other people's idea about the world. You are being fed images of other people's lives, other people's ideas and other people's interpretations of the world. As you go through life, your day, you're fed radios, you're fed media, you're fed all day long, you're being fed. And each of those things will either feed you or nourish you, but there's a big difference. Something that nourishes you is something that brings the best of your humanity out. Yes, challenges you at times, brings out the best, makes you more confident, makes you more self-aware, makes you more gentle with yourself, makes you more easy in who you are. Something that nourishes you is the thing that constantly brings you to the front of the stage and says, you are a gifted guitarist now, just stand there and play. Let everyone hear that. But we have lots of other stuff that feed us, and their motivation for feeding us has nothing to do with bringing the best of us out. It's to create a need. And a lot of needs are fear-based. So if you turn on a particular news channel on any given day, and if you listen to that, you're certain that ISIS are about to bomb the world any given minute. Whatever you do, don't go to Paris. Stay away from Paris. It's about to be bombed. Yet there's millions of people having coffee, say, in Paris, enjoying the most beautiful city in the world. They'll tell you that if you don't have your house insured and big alarm where people can ring you immediately, your house is going to be robbed. I have a house in Gore right now, and neither the front nor back door is locked, and it won't be robbed. We're being fed information all the time that breeds fear, because fear makes us buy things. So here's the thing. In your life, you have to ask yourself, what is feeding me and what is nourishing me? And how am I being nourished? There's a thing out there I came across, and I really like it. It's primary and secondary foods. So as we get more and more health conscious, we're all beginning to look at the labels of the stuff that we consume. Well, what's really in it? What's really going into my system? Primary food has nothing to do with the food you put in your mouth. Primary food has everything to do with nourishing you as a human being and your soul. So your primary food is your internal self-image. Who do I see myself as? My level of self-awareness and my level of self-confidence. My inner resilience and my inner resolve. Second primary food is my relationships. Am I surrounded with people who I absolutely love? Am I surrounded with people who challenge me and constantly help me to see the best in myself? Do I love the people I spend my time with? Our third pillar is our work. Do I love the job I do? Do I love the work I do? Do I see the value in what I do? Am I engaged and challenged in that work? It takes up a third of your life. It takes up 300 of your 900 months. So primary foods is far bigger. Secondary foods are the food we put in our mouth. What happens sometimes is when we have a deficit in one of our primary foods, when we have an emotional need, if we don't want to fill that need, then it creates a hole, and there's a hole inside, and we want to fill that hole with something quick. So high sugar, caffeine. And I talk about needs all the time, and one of the biggest mistakes we make as people, and one of the mistakes I make every day, because I'd love to try and make you believe that I'm happy and motivated every day. Absolutely not. So here's a need I come up with all the time. I need to go to bed earlier. That'd be me here, going to bed early. But I don't really go to bed there. I go to bed over here, which is late. And I wake up in the morning, and I'm tired, and I'm really tired. I come down in the kitchen, and my pure fiancée is there, She's trying to say something beautiful to me, or she's trying to tell me she loves me, or maybe she's trying to tell me you didn't bring the bins out last night, or maybe she's trying to, but I don't really know what, because I'm just a bit too tired, and I'm coming over to the kettle and the coffee machine, and what I should say to her is, I really apologize. You're saying something beautiful, and I'm missing it because I'm tired, and what I need to do is go to bed early. But I don't really say that. What I say is, just give me a minute. I need a coffee. I need a coffee. That's going to fix everything. I have the coffee, and the great thing about coffee is 20 seconds after you take it, not even 20 seconds, 5 seconds. You know when you really, really need a coffee, and you drink it, and after 5 seconds, oh, God, that's fantastic. I needed that. Hands up here, who believes the caffeine is in your system in 5 seconds? Hands up here, who really believes that feeling of, oh, thank God I need that, has anything to do with what's in that cup? Absolutely nothing to do with that cup. And I've done experiments where you put something in that cup that smells like coffee, tastes like coffee, looks like coffee. Then you really select the cup, so the cup is nice, it's brown, it's round. When you're making that substance, of course you make the and you ask the person their name, and you do all the lovely stuff, and you create an experience. And the experience says, I really value you. Thank you for coming in today. And how are you doing? And how are you feeling? And I'm going to give you something in a few minutes that's going to make you feel really relaxed, because I know you really need it. And one sip after you drink this, you're going to love it. And what's in that is actually brown water. It's really, really bad for you, but we won't talk about that. And I'm going to charge you $5.95 for it. There you go. And the person stands there, they listen to the sound and the smell and the textures and the colors, and it looks beautiful. Oh, thank God I'm here now, I'm relaxing. And they take that sip. Oh, God, I needed that. You needed what? It's not in your system. It won't be in your system for a couple of hours. So that's my need. I need coffee. But then I get on throughout the day, I'm moving along nicely, and then around 3 o'clock, because I didn't go to... Now, remember, all this is because I didn't go to sleep. I've already wasted $5.95 because I didn't need to go to sleep. 3 o'clock comes, I'm starting to tired, I'm listening to the boss just saying, why don't you come down, why don't you do a talk. We're moving forward as a brand, we're going so... It's really exciting me, but I just can't listen to it because I'm too tired. So eventually, what I say to him is, you're going to have to excuse me in a second. I really need a bar of chocolate. So now I walk over and Cadbury's, here comes Jerry, the bar. What would you like, Jerry? Geez, I'm not sure what you have. We've this, we've that. I'll take that. You know, whatever you're paying now, €1.20. I remember when dairy milks were really dear because they were 30p. 1.10. Oh, sure, I need it. At the end of the day, I go to bed. I spend €6 on a cup of coffee and 110 on the thing. But they help me feel okay. So I got through the day, I got through the meetings, I got through the thing. So that's fine. So now what I've learned, like Pavlov's dog, is instead of fixing root cause and going to bed earlier, that allows me to stay up late at night time, because tomorrow I'll just have another coffee and a bar of chocolate, and I get through the day okay. And sometimes we spend a lot of our time treating symptoms rather than treating root cause. And as long as you're treating symptoms, it's quick fix and it's expensive. And you need to fix it every bloody day. It's the exact same as coming into your house and seeing the kitchen tap wide open and the whole lot flooded. Can you imagine if you come into my house one day and the tap is flooding and I'm mopping everything up? And I'm sweat's coming out through me. I can't talk. I'm mopping everything up, mopping. You come in the next day, tap's still going, but I'm still mopping. Can't talk, mopping, awful busy. 400 emails about this fixed tap, mopping. You come in 5 days in a row and I'm still there mopping. Now at this stage the sweat is falling through me. I've stripped off, I'm down to a pair of jocks because I'm sweating. I've every cloth, every towel, I've the curtains pulled down, all trying to mop up the water. What are you going to say to me? Fix the bloody tap. And as a psychologist, all I say to people is, fix the bloody tap. Stop talking about stop talking about symptoms. Stop treating symptoms. Root cause. When you can build a business and you can build a brand around a product that improves and enhances root cause, now you have people, because that's what people want. Help me understand this. Give me something that's going to give me a better sense of this life and this style that I live. For me, that's the idea of root cause, and we get caught up treating root cause. So how do I solve that then? So most of us, if we put our hands up, we're in a cycle of, yes, we're too busy. We probably take on too much. We probably don't go to bed at night time. We don't drink enough water during the day. We've a lot of balls to juggle. We all can't love the life. And I get that all the time when I'm giving these talks. And people say, you're talking on up there. It's very American. I don't know what that is, very American. Or what's very European. I'd like to drink the way Europeans drink. Hold on a second here. We're European. So what do you mean? I'd like to drink the way Europeans drink. Well, you're European, so how do you drink? So this idea is sometimes we permit bad behavior because we globalize it. And people say, that's very American, Jerry. We all can't love the job we do. We all can't go to bed early. We all can't be happy. My answer to that is, show me this we all guy, because I really need to work with him. He's in serious trouble. Because this guy who's called we all doesn't love his job, works too hard, has too much going on, and doesn't go to bed enough. Don't worry about we all. He will look after himself. The question is, could you go to bed earlier? Could you take on less? The question is, are you treating root cause or treating symptoms? And if you're not the one to press stop, if you're not the one to say, no, let's take a second here. Let's just take a second here. Understand, why am I in this cycle in the first place? If you're not the one to that, don't expect the world to say it, because the world is selling you stuff on a daily basis. They don't really want to fix that. So here's the thing. I'm going to give you one of the most powerful techniques in the whole world. And it's a secret. It's a mystery. You've never heard of it before, but I'm going to give you the most essential techniques to happiness and to performance and to wellness. Are you ready for it? This is groundbreaking stuff. Are you ready for it? Yes. Okay. Sit up straight for a second before I give it. I want you to close your eyes before I give you the technique, because I'm going to have to perform a little dance myself, but I don't want you to see the dance. Right? Here's the technique. I want you to breathe. Just breathe. I want you to breathe just a little bit deeper. And as you breathe in, just lift your shoulders up. As you breathe out, just let your shoulders down. Instead of breathing just from your chest, I want you to breathe right into your stomach. And just at the start of every breath, I want a little pause. And you breathe in and pause, hold it, 2 or 3 seconds, and then breathe out. Now I want you to put your right hand on your heart. And I want you to become aware that there is this incredible machine that's working for you and you alone. It's not working for anybody else. And it's working with utter dedication and absolute love every second of every day. And it's doing it for nobody else in the world, only you. And because of its willingness to work for you, you get to do what you do. You get to hug the one you love. You get to hold your child. You get to hold your grandchild. You get to laugh. And the minute that thing stops beating, all of that stops. And all of the things that you think you live for, you stop immediately. And yet, how often do we take time to feel it, to slow it, to appreciate it, and to be grateful for it? Or is it like other parts of our life that we just take for granted? And we don't really care if it's going fast or slow. We don't really mind it, and we just hope it keeps going. And we do very little to make it go or go healthier. Sometimes in life we just take it for granted. We take it for granted that we're going to wake up for tomorrow. We take it for granted that the people we love know that they love us. We take it for granted that people know what I mean. If you're taking your very heartbeat for granted, what else are we taking for granted? If you don't stop for a couple of seconds to recognize one of the most powerful machines in the world sitting 1 inch from your chest, what else in the world have you missed? Just take 3 deep breaths. And as you take deep breaths, I want you to think of 30 seconds of things that you're absolutely grateful for. Maybe you woke up in a warm bed this morning. Compare that to someone that's homeless. Maybe you happen to wake up beside someone that you love. Maybe you had a big row with them last night and you could kill them, but deep down you love them. Maybe you came into the kitchen this morning and there was kids there going mad and cereal going everywhere and trying to get them out to school, and again you'd want to kill them, but you know you love them. What a gift. Think of the people that really long for kids and can't have them. Maybe you went outside the door and sat into a car and the car started. I grew up in a family where our car didn't always start. Maybe it started first time. Think of someone whose car doesn't start and they're trying to get somewhere really important and they've no way of getting there. And maybe when you started off on your journey, you knew you had enough petrol in the car to get there. And even if you didn't, you knew you had enough money in your pocket to buy it. But getting here this morning, you've probably 50 things to be grateful for. Did you take time to be grateful? Did you take time to feel how good it is to have a car that starts first time? To look into the eyes of a child who absolutely thinks that you're the most important person in the world. I don't have a child, but I have a dog. But I know at times that dog just wants to be with me, and I have to remind myself, if I could see myself through the eyes of my dog sometimes, I might just be a little bit easier on myself. If we could see ourselves through the eyes of the people that love us, maybe we wouldn't work so hard. Maybe we wouldn't push ourselves quite so religiously. Maybe we'd eat a little bit better. Maybe we'd drink a little bit more sensibly. Maybe we'd live a life slightly different. If I really, really love myself, would I live the life I'm living? Would I eat the way I eat? Would I drink the way I drink? And if I really, really love myself, would I speak to myself the way I speak to myself at times? When I look in the mirror, I don't look good. I may have put on a few pounds. This outfit doesn't look right. Can you imagine a young baby looking into a mirror And the baby just loves itself. The baby looks in the mirror and just thinks it's the best looking baby in the whole world. Can you imagine if I said to the baby, look, you look terrible. Jeez, you look awful. Your hair is a state. You're putting on a sight of weight. That outfit's no good. You'll go and change. If I started to talk to a baby like that, imagine what you would say to me. And yet we think when we look in the mirror, it's perfectly okay to say it to ourselves. We're here to build a lifestyle. Your life is 900 months. It's not something that goes on forever. And right now you are on the stage. Right now you are performing. Right now your life is unfolding right here, right now. And you are either living it in style, and in a style that brings the very best of you out, or you're living it in somebody else's style, with somebody else's ideas, with somebody else's instrument. And for every hour you do that, your months are ticking away. That life is like breathing. Building the biggest organization in the world is like breathing. Creating an Olympic or world champion is like breathing. So what is breathing? It's something that's instinctual. It's something that is at the core of human need. You live a life or build a brand that sits comfortably at the core of human being needs. Now you have something really special. Breathing allows us to come more and more into who we really are. Breathing allows us to come alive. If you build a brand or an organization that allows people to become more of who they want to be, and build a brand that allows people to become more alive, now you have something truly special. Breathing connects people. It's got a rhythm to it. You build a brand that fits with the rhythm of what's happening in the world, fits with the rhythm that people want to live. Breathing feeds your thoughts. It creates mindset. It's what we're aware of. You build a brand and you build a product that fits comfortably where people's mindset is right now. So the great thing about breathing is, in order to breathe, we must breathe in you. Sometimes in life, we just have to take on something new. We can't keep doing it the same way again and again, waiting for somebody else to give us the permission to be happy, somebody else to give us the permission to be successful, somebody else giving us the permission to live a bloody life, a life of style. So we have to just, at some stage, just go, just breathe in. And as that new air rushes in, it feels a bit cold, it feels a bit awkward, but it's exhilarating, and at times we need to bring change into our life. At the start and middle of every breath there's a pause. And just like in life, you have to be able to sit in silence. You have to be able to hold someone, see somebody, say something, and be nowhere else but in that moment. All of life is happening right here, right now. There was nothing going on yesterday, it's finished, and there was nothing going on tomorrow. But all of life is here, and yet we have between 60 and 80,000 thoughts a day. Ask yourself, how many of your daily thoughts are taken up by the past, and how many are taken up by tomorrow, or something in the future? All of life is right here, right now. And the next part makes the second part even more important. Because when we're finished that little pause, we breathe out. And we give way. Every relationship in your life that you build, you will have to surrender it. Every house you build will fall. Every car you drive will rust. Life is an exchange between old and new. We come into the world with absolutely nothing, and we leave the world with absolutely nothing. It's the most beautiful exchange of old and new. T.S. Eliot had a beautiful quotation. It said, at the end of all men's journeys, we arrive back at our beginning, but we know it for the first time. We're born with nothing, and we leave with nothing. But here's the thing. You were born with a beautiful gift of humanity. You were born with the best guitar in the whole world, and you were born with the ability to play that guitar like nobody else in the world has ever played it, and create a sound and a music that could inspire people to love that music. And when you die, the greatest gift you have is you can look at your name, because you had the name when you were born, and say, I was proud of what that person did. I was proud of the choices they made. I was proud of the life they lived in style. That style really inspired me, and I'll stand over it. And when you suddenly realize that you have to surrender all things, when you suddenly realize that everything you have you lose, it makes that middle piece even more important of really appreciating it when it's there. Really appreciating him when he's there. Really appreciating her when she's there. Because it, him, or her will not be there forever. Life is a fleeting exchange between old and new. And the gift that we have is to find a rhythm of breathing and a rhythm of life that allows us to live 900 months in a style that brings the best out of us, so that at the end, when we surrender everything back to the Maker, we can say, I am totally proud of that life, and I'm totally proud and inspired by the style in which I lived it. That's my talk. Thanks very much.